So today we're going to be talking specifically about how to keep that loaded pipeline of clients while we're busy filling roles. What I've seen over the years working with people in this space is that there's a lot of different cycles in the business, right? And what usually happens is when we're not too busy, we have time and we stay disciplined with our business development efforts, whatever they are, whatever system you're using, whether it's automation or emailing or calling. But usually what happens is when we're busy like this, most people take the foot off the gas of business development. And then the result of that is these revenue gaps into our business. And so in this training, we're going to talk about some ways that, without any of your manual effort, how we can help you keep that pipeline loaded. Because the common trap, the trap here is a false belief. And this isn't directed towards anybody, but the false belief and the trap that people fall into is they're busy right now. So they think that that's going to continue to stay, and they think their busyness came from some sort of a system. And in most cases, there's not a system in place. And again, that's not a knock on anyone. That's just a reality. And in a situation like this, you kind of get this false sense of hope and this false sense of security because the market's hot. But when the market's not hot like it is right now, that's usually when your business development strategy or lack of strategy is completely exposed, because when you have to compete against other recruiters and other recruiting agencies, your game might not be as tight. And so, just be careful. And you should probably ask yourself this question, nothing you need to comment here, but just if you were going to be honest with yourself, what exactly, where's your business coming from? Is it coming from a system that you've put into place, or is it coming from just the results of a hot market? Okay. So, and the other thing is, how many of you have started to kind of hit the point in your business and you're kind of questioning whether or not you can grow? Do you have the skills and tools? Do you have the systems in place to be able to grow your business? And I think that's a critically important question to ask yourself right now is, have you hit that wall in your business? Are you truly actually growing? Are you just staying busy? Because that's another trap is the false belief that I have all these job orders, but if we have a bunch of job orders that we're not filling, as you guys well know, there's not very much money going around because of that. So, the other thing becomes, if you're looking at how this business was traditionally done, there's a lack of freedom ultimately overall, right? And the reason is because the way this business was taught and the way most trainers are teaching it is exchanging your time for money. And no matter what your manual outputs are, that's where you're going to get your return on investment. But I can tell you there's another way, there's a modern way, and we've been working on that in the Relevant Recruiter program. That's what I'm about to share with you, is a way that you can run your business that allows for more freedom, where you can leverage automation and where you can, create more time in your day so that you're not owned by the business, and the business and results and your revenue aren't tied to what your personal production and output is. Now, this isn't to say that you don't have to work. Of course you have to work, but there's easier ways to get on the phone, whether they're both clients and candidates. And the reality of it is, if you haven't fully adopted an online marketing position and a personal branding and an automated lead generation system, it's just a matter of time before you become obsolete, before you're gone, because the people that are doing this right now are going to have way more attention. They're going to wave way more market share. They're going to be ahead of the curve as things continue to shift. So, one of the first things that I wanted to kind of, dive into is the importance. And when we're talking about building an automated lead generation system, the automated lead generation system is the ultimate solution to you being able to keep a loaded pipeline while you are busy, filling these roles and making placements right now. And the 4 elements of an automated lead generation system, in order for it to be effective, are going to be, clear positioning in the marketplace, turning LinkedIn into a lead machine, having content that converts, and being able to do this now across multiple channels. Okay, so let's talk about that first element of standing out. Okay, the first place of being able to build an automated lead machine is knowing who you're building the machine for. When you're looking at the traditional ways of doing this business, if you're picking up the phone and you were cold calling, you can technically tailor your message to everybody who's picking up the phone. So if you were talking to a hiring manager in engineering versus somebody or a hired decision maker in engineering versus a hiring decision maker, say in sales, you could kind of tweak your pitch. But when you go online and you're building out a system, it's going to be out there. It's going to be evergreen. It's going to stay in the marketplace. And so it's really important that you know exactly who you're talking to. And this comes into a bigger place. This is really where if you're looking to build a brand and you want to be a thought leader and you want to be an authority in the market, you're going to have much faster traction and success doing that in a very specified niche. That's how you'll be able to figure out exactly, how you can position yourself as that authority in the market. So the first thing is positioning. And with positioning is knowing exactly who your core target market is so that you can then start to position yourself and be different and stand out from the next recruitment company. And I can't really drive this home enough. If you choose to stay a generalist, it'll be very, very hard for you to have an automated lead generation system. If you're going to choose to be a generalist, chances are you're just choosing to stay owned by the phone or relying upon, just kind of cold email campaigns and cold outreach. But when you start to build that positioning, you start to know your audience. Really what it allows you to do is kind of position yourself as that authority, like I said, and authorities get more business. They get more people that are reaching out to them. And that's really where the whole, opportunity is at now, is you have the opportunity to kind of own and dominate a niche in a market if you get your positioning right and get your personal branding dialed in. So that's the first element to having a good automated lead generation system, is knowing who this system is being built for. The next thing, like I said, is turning LinkedIn into a lead machine. And what we do here, what we want to look at here is, leveraging LinkedIn in a couple of different ways. First and foremost is automating LinkedIn. And, people can tell you and say all day long, whatever they want about automation not working on LinkedIn. And the reality of it is they just haven't found a way to make it work. Automation works for me every single day. It works for my clients every single day, but we know how to automate what we're automating. Meaning that what we're not doing is we're not going out and trying to pitch and sell our services. Automation is not a sales tool. And I think that's where it's commonly misused, is people take some of the traditional methods that they've used in this industry, for example, cold calling, and they just try to take the same approach with an automated message. And if you're doing that and you're not seeing results, well, that's because the approach is off. But if you start to look at automation as a way to scale your relationships and create more relationships at scale, create more meaningful conversations in your day, that's where automation really starts to work. And so what you want to do is really focus on how can you start dialogue with some prospective hiring decision makers and or candidates. And then what the automation is really designed to do is start the conversation. And then when the human touch comes into play, that's where you have to be good, right? That's where you have to be good at that. But the automation is not designed to take away anything. It's designed to actually create for more meaningful conversations, more time for those conversations, because it's saving us time on a lot of the outbound prospecting efforts. So LinkedIn, automating LinkedIn is great, especially with some of the new workarounds that have come out, or some of the restrictions that have come. So a lot of you guys know that they've capped it at 100 invites. With that, that actually is creating more opportunity for those of us that have the workaround. So my clients are not capped at 100 invites. We've got a tool that actually works around that. My clients are still able to send about 500 invites plus per week. So their networks are still growing. They're still able to have conversations with people and generate new clients as a result of that. And so all the while you're busy sourcing, we have an automated tool in the background that's growing your network, starting conversations with these folks, and ultimately generating new leads and new opportunities for warmer phone calls. The other great approach to use LinkedIn is more of the manual, approach. And it's just a unique way to reach out. We call it the 3-step video messaging routine. And so really what we're creating here is more of a routine. So you're not leveraging automation, so to speak, but you're leveraging a system and a routine where we do video outreaches. And the video outreach is just a complete game changer because very few people are doing it at this point. And it allows for the client or candidate to buy into your energy. And so, if you were to stay disciplined with this type of a routine, you can easily carve out 30 minutes to an hour a day. I don't care how busy you are and how many roles are on your desk, to just start being targeted with people you want to reach out to for future business development. Okay. The next thing I would recommend, and the next thing that really makes for an effective automated lead generation system is having content. Okay. And content in itself isn't necessarily automated, but the cool thing about content is it works 24/7, 365 outside of no effort other than you actually creating the content and posting it. Now, of course, there's automated tools for posting content. I love Pager. If you haven't explored Pager, reach out to me. We can talk about Pager. It's a phenomenal tool, specifically for the staffing and recruiting space. And one of the parts of the tool, one of the features of the tool is actually automating the posting. But automating the posting, there's only so much win to that, meaning that if you don't have good content, then it doesn't matter what you're automating and what you're posting. So if we were to go back a step, what kind of content should I be creating? I should be creating content that really supports the positioning of my brand, right? And so if I'm going back into what we originally talked about, which is, starting to focus on your positioning in the marketplace, the content's easy because I know exactly who I'm creating it for. And then I know the story I'm trying to create based off of the positioning I want them to feel in the marketplace. But content isn't limited to just, thoughtful posts. And it isn't just limited to value-based posts. You should be sharing your wins every single day. You should be sharing your open roles in a more creative and unique way. You should be adding value. You definitely should be adding value. You should be sharing personal stories. You should be sharing what's going on in your life. You should be creating a brand through your content that's really just honestly portraying who you are authentically, exactly who you are. And when you do that through time, it's really amazing what happens, because people start to reach out to you every single day. And you start to get new warm phone calls based off of your content, because people see you, your lighthouse is on, you're attracting people in now. But I can tell you that you won't have very much success with your content. And if you've been down the content path and you've already tried this, a good chance your lack of success comes to two things. One, you're creating your content, it's too general, it's too vague, and it's not bold enough. And then two, you're not creating your content for a specific audience. And like I said, it's very hard to really bust down and break through the noise with all the messages that people are getting. And I'm not even talking about other recruiting competition. I'm talking about just the market as a whole, right? And what we as people go through as a whole, how many messages we get every single day. So if I really want to stick out, I want to be something to somebody. And, that's where, being able to create content for a specific audience is really great. The other thing is it allows you to position yourself as not just a transactional recruiter. And with that, what I mean is, you're really not, when you're focused on content, it allows you to kind of dive more into the company's real overall problem. Yeah, you don't have this specific role filled, but why can't you fill that role internally? What's the problem? Why are we struggling with this? And when you can solve a problem for companies, you become a big time authority and you are no longer a commodity. But the reality of it is we were taught in this industry to basically just pick up orders. And when you're doing that, you're not an authority. You're just a commodity. You're just, reaching out and taking whatever comes your way. And I'm sure a lot of you have made a lot of money that way, but that's where you get into that trap of priding yourself on being busy versus actually driving revenue. And, when you have a good content conversion system, it eliminates a lot of that, because that's really what establishes the authority positioning in the marketplace. The last thing is, really starting to look at how you can show up on multiple platforms and multiple channels. So, what this looks like is, having solid drip email campaigns, having solid nurture email campaigns, starting to develop a presence on Facebook and a presence on YouTube and a presence on Instagram and Twitter. Now, I'm not telling you to spread yourself thin and be anywhere, everywhere. And I'm also want you to caution, if you haven't dominated a platform like LinkedIn yet, because it's the easiest place to start, that would be where I would have you focusing. There's no sense in learning a bunch of things that you're not going to implement. And there's no sense of, trying to implement new things if you haven't already taken advantage of some of the most easy low-hanging fruit, and LinkedIn is that. But if you feel like you've got LinkedIn pretty dialed in, then your next step is definitely going to be looking at multiple channels. Like I said, email, LinkedIn, email, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Now, one of the things that you really want to understand is that with those tools, and especially if you start to be, pay money for advertising, there's a lot you can really do with that. And one of the things that is very powerful is retargeting. So, the common myth is out there. The common thing I always hear is, oh, well, Donnie, my hiring decision makers, they're not on Facebook. Yeah, they are. They're 100% on Facebook. I've seen them. I know them. I know people that are huge execs in big companies that are friends of mine, that use recruiters that are on Facebook every day. The challenge is people don't know how to target them. And the other challenge is people don't have quality messaging and quality funnels to put people through that are actually going to get them to convert from Facebook. But even if your market isn't saturated on Facebook and it's very hard to target, you can start these conversations on LinkedIn, and then you can retarget them with ads on a platform like Facebook. And the cool thing about paid advertisement is that that's like a form of automation, because why? It's working when you're not. When I have paid ads up, I've got eyeballs on Donnie 24/7, 365, and that can create a massive impact for your business. So I think that those are the things that you'd really want to look at. And so those are the four elements of, an automated lead generation system. We call that the relevant recruiter method. Again, it's to stand out where we have, proper positioning in the marketplace as an authority. It's turning LinkedIn into a lead machine. So we're automating LinkedIn and then we're creating routines around LinkedIn. It's creating a content conversion system. So we're not just creating content for any and everybody, but we're creating content for a specific audience. And we're getting that content to convert into inbound leads. And then it's showing up on multiple platforms with those same types of efforts, looking at how we can automate these other platforms, looking at how we can have presence on these other platforms and carry some of our conversations on LinkedIn or email over to these other social platforms. So they're the most top of mind choice. Nobody's going to start hiring your company because you just popped up. They hire, you need to be there when their need is there. Nobody's going to be like, oh, hey, Donnie's a great marketer. Let's start using him for our hiring. Or let's start hiring people because of that. It's really being top of mind when that need arises. But, that's really what's going to make for a successful automated lead generation system, being able to stand out, turn in LinkedIn into a lead machine, create content that converts, and then multiple channel scaling. So, when you have this right, there's a lot of benefits that happen for your business. Okay. And the first benefit is, like I said, you're really become viewed as an authority in the marketplace, and authorities just get more respect and they get more work and they get the best work. And some of you might be saying, oh, I don't know if I'm an authority or not. And that's just imposter syndrome. The reality of it is you don't need to be some special character. You don't need to be some heroic personality to be an authority. You need to show up consistently. You need to add value to your marketplace. It's the easiest way to start with that. But the benefits of being an authority is way less time wasted on roles that you'll never fill. That's the biggest benefit of being an authority. The next one is that people will reach out to you rather than you always having to do the outbound outreach. So I know people that are $1 million billers that sit at the desk, but all they've ever done is operate off of the phone. They haven't even leveraged their online presence to be able to take all that stuff to the next level. And there's opportunity there. Okay. You're going to increase your brand awareness massively. If you're looking at it, what do you have going on every single day for your market that is actually touching people and making them aware that you actually exist? Your company is actually out there and exists. Your employees, your other recruiters, what do you have going on every single day without fail that is expanding your market, that is keeping yourself top of mind to your existing market and also bringing in new audience? Because the brand awareness is key. And in order for you to really become an authority, you need to start building a brand that people can follow, and making it, the awareness is key. There's nothing more frustrating, right, than creating a nice article, writing or creating a nice video, creating a nice piece of content, whatever it is, and then nobody sees it. So that's why it's critically important you have a great distribution strategy out there. But when you have an automated lead generation system, you have brand awareness and it's working while you are doing the other things. Okay. And I want to drive that back home. Automation allows for you to do more, spend more time on the things that are going to generate your company money, which is talking to clients, talking to candidates, and making that perfect match. Okay. It also allows you to go from one-to-one to one-to-many, right? And what do I mean by that is, again, the traditional outreach in this industry is one phone call to one person on the other line. I'm not telling you to stop doing that, but what I'm telling you is there's other ways to add some things in. And so when you're leveraging automation, rather than one phone call that's manual, actually there is zero manual effort other than loading up the searches, and then you let the machine do the work. And, rather than, missing out on 99 of the people that you're actually reaching out to, all the people you're missing out on is not a time sink for you. You're only focused on the low-hanging fruit of people that respond and engage and want to get on the phone. So there's a lot more leverage that way. And when you're going from one-to-one to one-to-many, it just, it's going to increase that brand awareness. It's going to increase the opportunities. A lot of this becomes a numbers game, right? When you have something like this in place, you have more clarity, and the clarity allows you to take more action. Right. When you're clear on what you need to do and you have a clear system in place, that allows you to take action. It also allows you to scale and bring on other people around. If you're a boutique agency, really, what do you have to offer to attract top talent? Not very much in most cases. But if you have a system that you can basically put into place for a future employer, and especially if you have a system that you can put into place that isn't going to require them to dial 100 a day, you might attract some really good talent that way. Okay. And I think that's something that's important to have in place. It's a great system before you even try to go after something. Ultimately, when you have something like this up and running and done right, it increases your demand. And when you have demand, that allows you to say no to roles that you don't want to work on. And that's critically important. The other thing is it allows you to kind of turn up the dial on your own and turn it down. So, a lot of my clients have to pause campaigns because, we get them working and dialed in so much that they get the business in. They have to pause it for a while so they can handle that flow, but then it's always encouraged to turn it back on so we can eliminate those gaps in the pipeline there, right? But ultimately, you're going to increase the amounts of placements that you make, and then you're going to increase the revenue when you have an automated lead generation system. So, the personal benefits really, that's really just your benefits for your business, but the personal benefits is, that's going to be more money in your pocket. You're going to have more freedom because you're going to have more time, and you're going to spend that time however you want. For me, I spend my time with my family as much as I possibly can, coaching football and things like that. And it allows you to spend and chase other endeavors that you have. Other ways that, I speak with a lot of people that have a recruiting business, and the recruiting business is their seed money for another bigger opportunity that they have out there. And I've got no knock on that. I think that's great. But, again, going back and having a system and having things in place that allow you to leverage that are really incredible. So over the last few years, we've basically taken this relevant recruiter method, and we've now helped over, hundreds of recruiters implement this very, very successfully. And when people implement it, what happens is they start to get warm phone calls so that they don't have to do as much of that outbound effort. Don't have to do so much of that outbound, cold calling and things like that. And when somebody shows up on your calendar, and when somebody wants to be on the phone with you, closing that deal is so much easier than when you're trying to break down the door. So you're saving so much time by doing it that way. And that's what we've been able to help people do, by implementing the relevant recruiter method and the relevant recruiter program. And, in addition to those types of things, what we're seeing in the program is people returning, 106 figures on their investment. A lot of people that go through this program and implement it are returning 6 figures. And so what we do in the program, it's actually a 6-month, mentorship program. We give you everything you need to be successful. We give you clear messaging templates and scripts. And, these things are already proven. These are things that have worked for myself and my clients. We're giving all the content topics, examples, ideas, etc., so that you can become a content marketer and you can get out of your own way. We work on the mindset of content because a lot of it is what you got going on in your head, and making sure that we can get everything dialed in. So, all of these things are going to be incredibly, incredibly impactful, for your business. But having a complete set of tools in place and a complete training portal that gives you everything you need to be able to build out your own automated lead generation system, and we, in addition to that, you get my personal support. And, I will tell you the biggest difference between this program and others is that I'm a coach. This isn't just a training program. I didn't just put together a couple of recorded videos for you to go through and build your personal brand. This is a complete system. So if you're looking to play big and you want a system in your business so that you can automate your business, so that you can reach your maximum revenue goals, so you can create the freedom that you want in your life, schedule a call with me. Drop a me below. I'll reach out. I'll drop my link in the calendar there. Reach out to me via direct messaging. Don't wait. Now's your time to jump all over this. I don't care if you're busy right now, because you know what's going to happen. If you're busy right now, the lull is coming, and don't have delusions of grandeur that this hot market is going to stay everywhere. And the common problem that people make when these types of things is they wait until it's too late, where even though you're busy right now, if you take the time to be able to start processing, putting together the system, because this isn't a plug and play, this is something you need to work. If you take the time to do that now, you will eliminate the gaps in your revenue, and you will grow your recruiting business massively. So take the time, book the call. The call is 100% free. The call is not even about pressuring you about being a part of the program. It's actually just showing you, walking through, getting you clarity on what you want for your life, what you want for your business, how the relevant recruiter method could help you and improve your business. If it can, I'll send you to some other coaches or other resources that I think can help you out and would be a good start. And if we do feel like there's both a fit and it's a win for both of us, we'll talk about the program more specifically and how that can impact your business. But don't wait. Drop a me in the comments below. Send me a direct message. Or like I said, I'll drop my calendar link in the comments. Grab a time and put together an automated lead generation system for your business. It'll be an absolute game changer, and it'll help you avoid the trap of, having a hot couple of months and then a big peter out. Right now is the best time to be doing this, because everybody else is hiding under this excuse of I'm busy. Intentional, focused effort will do wonders in your life. So hopefully this training was valuable for you, and looking forward to talking to all of those that are interested and ready to up-level their life and up-level their business. This is Donnie Gupton. We'll talk to you soon.